Since the Switch 2 launched, I have been hammering every Pokemon title in the library. But as I looked at the new releases, I realized I had a massive Kanto-shaped hole in my history. Confession time, 22 years ago when Fire Red and Leaf Green first dropped, I was in that phase where I thought I was too cool for Pokemon. I walked away from the franchise. Well, with the cool phase over and with Fire Red and Leaf Green dropping on the Switch very soon, I thought it was time to get some long overdue redemption. But I'm not here for just a casual stroll through the Kanto region. To make up for 2 decades of lost time, I'm tackling this with a full set of retro achievements in order to get 100%. First, we're sinking our teeth into Fire Red now so that when Leaf Green does drop on the Switch, which is my favourite of the two, we can give it another go. So, no more excuses, it's time to 100% the game 22 years later. So we start the game like all other Pokemon games, and that is by meeting the professor, making your name, naming your rival, and picking your starter Pokemon. Now, I was always a Bulbasaur guy. I loved Bulbasaur. I never really even evolved him to Ivysaur or Venusaur. I just loved Bulbasaur. So I was going to go with him this time, but I thought, no, why not go with Fire Red? Charizard, one of the starters that I never ever really picked. After picking up our Pokemon, we are challenged by our rival with each of our starters. Winning this gets us our first story-related achievement. So with our Pokemon in hand, it's time to set out on our journey. First stop, Vermilion City. We're at the Pokemart. The shop owner recognizes me as someone from Pallet Town and asks if I can take a parcel back to Professor O, which I do, and when I give him this package, I'm rewarded with my very own Pokedex and 5 Pokeballs. He tasks us with completing the Pokedex and we set off yet again. Now it's time to catch our first Pokemon, with that being our trusty Pidgey. Always the first Pokemon I catch in these games, because who in their right mind would want a Rattata? If you notice on the bottom right, it shows the progress for what's going to be the most difficult of these trophies, and that's catching 170 Pokemon. Now let's talk about that for a second. Now the Pokemon we can't get are the other 2 starter lines, the Leaf Green exclusives, Trade Evolutions, as this is a solo run, and Kabuto, because I'm going to be picking Omanyte. Once we leave Viridian, we end up firstly on Route 22, where we run into Gary again, and it's here we get our first missable trophy by beating Gary on Route 22, something that can be missed. Once that was done, we headed to Pewter City for our first badge, picking up some more Pokemon on the way, like Mankey, Fearow, Caterpie, just to name a few. We reach Pewter City to fight Brock, the gym leader. One of the achievements is for defeating him, but there is another needing you to do this with only 2 Pokemon, and they can't be over level 12, and you have to do it in set mode, meaning that you'll go into this fight under-leveled the same amount as the gym leader. This layer adds a difficulty that was never really present originally. Luckily enough, I caught a Mankey, and his low kick made quick work of Geodude and on it, although I doubt that strategy is going to work on the next gym leader coming up. Time to get to Cerulean City, but we need to get through Mount Moon, where I'm hoping to find that 1% Clefairy that can be found. Before we head into Mount Moon though, we need to stop at the Poke Center and pick up that £500 Magikarp for the next achievement. Bargain. As we work our way through Mount Moon, we run into Team Rocket, the game's villains, looking to steal whatever Pokemon they can. We beat a scientist for the fossil, and when we pick which one we want, we get another achievement, as well as catching Clefairy, Paris, and Geodude. We arrive at Cerulean to take on Misty, and we need to beat her using 2 Pokemon under level 20. We went with Paris and Butterfree, not the Pokemon I would usually go with, but they were at a level I needed to go, and they stand the best chance with Butterfree's Confusion and Sleep Power, and Paris having Leap Life. Once we defeat Misty, we get the 2 achievements, and then 1 for defeating our rival again on the way to Bill's house. At Bill's house, we run into a talking Clefairy, but that's not a Pokemon, that is Bill, whose experiment went wrong. We fix him, and we are rewarded with tickets for the SS Anne. So we head to Vermilion City to check that ship out. Aboard the SSS Anne, we get another achievement for beating our rival. His Abra and Rattata have now evolved, but you make quick work of them. When reaching the captain's room, you help him with his sickness and rewarded with the HM Cup, which will now allow us to get into the gym. Lieutenant Surge is an electric type, and this time we need to defeat him with Pokemon under level 24, but we are allowed to take an extra Pokemon, meaning we have 3. I took Geodude and Mankey, with them being the best, and Nidorino, as I needed to use Cut to actually get into the gym. Thankfully, the first 2 were enough to take care of Lieutenant Surge's Pikachu and Raichu to get the achievements defeating him. We reach Lavender Town and go into the Pokemon Tower where we run into our rival again and get another achievement for beating him. Again, we head upstairs, but we keep running into ghosts, but we are unable to fight them as we cannot identify them, so for now we leave and we reach Celadon City. We hear rumors of a secret Team Rocket base, and it's the home also of Celadon Department Store, a multi-level, non-stop shop for everything you could need. We pick up some Great Balls and head over to the arcade. In the arcade is a Team Rocket front in front of a poster. He challenges you to a battle, and when you win, you find out that the secret base is under the game corner. We work through the underground maze and find the leader of Team Rocket, Giovanni, held up there, and he explains why they are so evil, and we do battle. Graveler made quick work of each of his enemies, and we get the achievement for beating him, as well as picking up the Silph Co, so we can get back to Lavender Town and make our way to the top of Pokemon Tower. Before that though, we need to take on the next gym leader, being Erica. Erica is a poison grass type leader, and to get the achievements we need to defeat her with 3 of your Pokemon under level 29. Vermilion is perfect for this, along with the Growlithe I picked up on the way to Celadon. Rounding out the squad with Nidorino, Growlithe makes quick work of Victory Bell and Gloom, but it took the rest of the squad to beat Vileplume, which gets us the Rainbow Badge and the 2 achievements that we need from this leader. Back at Lavender Town, we go into the Pokemon Tower and realize the ghost is none other than a Marowak. We defeat it and put its soul to rest while also defeating Team Rocket. We rescue Mr. Fuji, who provides us with a Poke Flute, which now lets us get past the Snorlax that we ran into earlier. Catching him is needed as he's the only one in the game, and we need him for the 170 Pokemon, and there is also an achievement tied to it, so we pick that up. Leading the way to let us arrive in Fuchsia City, home of the Safari Zone, the only place to get a Chansey, with there being a 1% spawn rate. The plan for me was to get Pokemon as they came and not try and spend too much time trying to catch everything until I've completed the game. But there was an exception. I wanted to clear the Safari Zone. I knew there was going to have to pump some time into it, so I thought, why not get it over with while I'm here? Once we're done with the Safari Zone, we head to Koga, the poison gym leader, with a couple of coughing and wheezing. The challenge is to beat him with 4 or less Pokemon under level 43, but I only needed 1. My sweet little Charmander had grown up all the way into a nice, round, level 40 Charizard with Flamethrower. I wiped the floor with his squad, earning my next badge and the achievements required. We ride to Saffron City, the home of Silph Co. Looks like we need to get rid of Team Rocket before we can progress, so we head to Silph Co. The building is a web of teleporters and locked rooms that you need to find a key card in order to open them and get to where you need to go, the manager's office. But before you enter, your rival wants to make sure you're up for the task, and you get another achievement for beating your rival in Saffron City. We then get another achievement as the man stood next to our rival was so happy with our performance, he gave me a Lapras as thanks. Inside the manager's office, we run into Giovanni again, trying to get the owner to sign the company over. We make short work of him with Graveler. Honestly, I never used Geodude or Graveler in a Pokemon game before, but Graveler with Magnitude is basically a way to cheese almost every fight. With the achievement for beating Team Rocket obtained, we can go for the gym badge, but not before hopping next door to the dojo and beating the leader for a prize Pokemon named after the great fighters Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. We went with Hitmonlee as I almost always choose Hitmonchan in these games, and I wanted this run to be a little different. Now we face off against Sabrina, and for the first time I went in with somewhat of a different squad. We need 4 Pokemon under level 43 again for the achievement, and Graveler was level 45, so he had to go in the box. So we ran with a Haunter, as Bulbapedia said it was good against Psychic, and Snorlax I pretty much cheesed with Rest and Snore and got the badge along with the achievements. We now have Fly and the ability to use it, so we head back to Celadon and pick up an Eevee, which I forgot to pick up first time round. Now we head to Seafoam Island and pick up our first legendary Pokemon of the game in Articuno, before reaching Cinnabar Island, home to Blaine's gym, the Pokemon Mansion, and where the Pokemon Lab is situated. We drop off the Helix fossil, and we then get the key to the gym from inside the mansion and defeat Blaine with ease. We needed at least 4 Pokemon under level 47. My level 35 Lapras with Surf made short work of them all. As soon as we leave the gym, we run into our old friend Bill, who invites us to a place called Island 1. When we get to Island 1, we are asked to head to Island 2 to get some rare rocks from a guy in the game corner. When we get there, his daughter is missing on Island 3, so we have to find her, so we go to Island 3. When we save her, we get the achievement. We give the stone back to Bill, who confirms the PC is now working, and we head back to Cinnabar Island. Before we take on the last badge, we catch the 2 remaining legendary birds, Moltres on Mount Ember and Zapdos in the power plant. We now fly back to the very first time we visited Viridian City, as the then empty gym now has a leader. In order to get this badge, we need to defeat the leader with 5 Pokemon or less under level 50. Now, most of my Pokemon are only level 35 to 40, so we'll give it a go and see what happens. The last gym leader is the leader of Team Rocket, Giovanni, and Lapras with Surf managed to sweep the whole team, getting me my last badge and the 2 achievements tied to this leader. On the way to the Elite Four, we beat our rival again for another achievement. Now here is where it gets a little bit difficult, which is we need to solo the Elite Four. That's right, beat all of the Elite Four with just 1 Pokemon. After a little bit of research, I found that the perfect Pokemon to do it. Lapras as a water ice type, she's perfect for the Dragon Leader, which is the first one. But she then has the ability to learn electric types and psychic types. So I gave it Shockwave and Psychic to take on the Ghost Leader, and the rest, pretty much every Pokemon is weak to one of the 4 moves. Getting the achievements Real Champ 1 and Solo Mastery. With the Elite Four done, we now have 38 of the 61 available achievements. We pick up in Professor Oak's lab to start the post-game content. Professor Oak explains that there are rare Pokemon being sighted that have never been seen in Kanto before. So he updates our Pokedex and sends us on our way, suggesting we head to Island 1. Before we do that though, we currently have 68 out of the 170 Pokemon needed, and we need to get a few more, and we can get a few more easily with all the NPC trades in the game. So before we head out on our next adventure, we gain the Pokemon Farfetch'd, Nidoran Female, Mr. Mime, Lickitung. Then we pick up the old Amber for the achievement and take it to Cinnabar Island. We get Omanite from the old fossil. We then get Electrode, Angler, Seal, and once the fossil is cooked, we get an Aerodactyl and we set sail to Island 1. When we get to Mount Ember again, Team Rocket are there and we have to defeat them in order to gain access. Once we defeat them and head into the mountain, we work our way through some strength puzzles to get the Ruby. An item Celio has asked for an upgrade to the PC to transfer Pokemon from the new islands back. Once we arrive back with the Ruby, he asks us to obtain the Sapphire, which is the sister stone to the Ruby. He also upgrades our Tri-Pass to a Rainbow Pass, letting us travel to more islands. At Island 4, we run into our rival, who mentions an egg and a familiar face. The familiar face being Lorelei. We head to the Ice Cave to find her while picking up the new HM Waterfall. When we get there, she's taken on Team Rocket. We help defeat them and pick up the achievement Helping Hand. We head to Island 6 where the Sapphire is, but it's then stolen before we can take it. But we do get the second password for the Team Rocket warehouse. The warehouse is similar to the base in Celadon. It's a bunch of sliding floor panels. Complete the maze and you reach the guy who stole the Sapphire, only for him to give it you back. With the Sapphire obtained, we head to Island 1 and give it to Celio before heading back to Island 5. As I'd forgotten that there is an egg that you can pick up as well as the achievement for it, and an achievement for rescuing Selfie. I had no idea where she was, so I searched the island and come across the lost cave and found her there. She thinks I'm going to hurt her, she battles me, but when we win, she sees sense and we get the achievement. Island 7 is the last island and is home to the Trainer Tower, where there are a few achievements tied to it. You need to complete the single battles, the double battles, the knockout battles, and the mixed battles, each for their own achievement. With the Trainer Tower complete, it just leaves the last of the Legendaries and finishing off the Pokedex. So with 80 or so to go, it's probably best to just hit a montage. We were battling out to get all of the evolutions when all of a sudden, because it had been a while since I last saved, I used the Master Ball on Suicune to guarantee the next achievement. Once the evolutions for Kanto were done, we got the last 2 trades for Nidorino and Jinx.
And lastly, to finish the Kanto Pokemon, get the Pokemon that is attainable in only one place, and you can't catch it, you have to buy it. Porygon is a prize from the game corner in Celadon City, costing roughly 200,000 Zenny because you have to buy coins. And because I didn't want to sit there playing the slots for God knows how long, we just spent the money. Now we just need to finish the national deck, so you know what that means. Another montage. With all that done, I thought it was nice to lead the last two trophies together, and that's to catch the one, the only Mewtwo. Catching this will be the last of the 170 Pokemon needed for the achievement, and it has its own achievement, which is the last one in total. And there we have it, Pokemon Fire Red completed. Honestly, I had a blast. Obviously, PlayStation trophies and Xbox achievements are the top tier way of playing games, but now I know there is a way to get achievements for retro games. I will certainly be trying more, as it gives you a way to play these classics in a different way that you wouldn't have originally. Anyway, if you would like to see more retro stuff thrown in, PlayStation 1 games, more Pokemon, N64 stuff, anything at all, let me know down below in the comments and we'll try them out.